Hello and welcome back. This is episode 18 of Hearthside. Oh, hello, Liv. Hi. And today we are going to run around. We're going to get our library done. We might change up that kinetic sculpture. The more I look at it, the more I dislike it. We're also going to put the garage in I talked about in episode 2 over here in that blank space that I've left open for so long. And we might even make a train, but we're going to make it a different type of train. We're going to make it like a little pickup truck, I think, for this gravel to head over directly to the gravel washing station. So I am so excited for that. Let's get started. We want to finish up the library. We want to finish up a few different things. I also have this child in my inventory. We have not determined on who to name it, how to name it, so we'll figure that out. I will say, I think the Surbans do add a little bit more, life. I mean, we have plenty of laughter throughout the village, but they'll sing to themselves. They'll make strange noises. They'll tell you hi in the most creepy way imaginable. We're starting to get hearts so that we can rank up. Now, library. We do have this kinetic sculpture going, even if it does change later on. So actually, I think we'll put them right off of these quadrants. And I think I'll put them in, take out the wand, tear this one down, and we'll have 3 different towers with farms, 4 different libraries on the bottom. Right, so I think we'll do some 5x5 towers or such. We'll probably actually make the towers larger so it can have a spiral staircase upwards. So let's get started on that. That does look impressive, coming from out of town and coming from in town as you're moving past. Just ignore the huge one in the front. We're going to get rid of that. And that leaves us with, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And I think I'll do the 7th on the top there since I've already made the stairs and they do look good. So we'll do 7 on each. That's 21 different farms running at the same time. We will see if this thing can do it. And if it can't, that's alright. We may fix up the design because I think I want something crazy. You know, I put a shroom light in this contraption and I do not believe it measures light after it's on a contraption. So let's take that off, which I'm not sure why we're worried about the stairs or the lamp being there. We will have to find another place to put the lamps because we need a center point going all the way up through these. So, stop focusing on decor, Mrs. Vining. Start focusing on the actual matters at hand. Hello. What do you have strapped to your leg? Are you a cultist? Hello, Benny. No, you're a fisherman. You have a fish on your leg. Sir, look at that. He has a fish on his leg. And some goggles on his head. You are adorable. Wait. What do I want to use as a shaft all the way through this? And then anchor 2 at the top and the bottom. If you guys were thinking girders, so was I, and that's what we're going to do. Oh no, I am out of girders. Now I am not out of girders. Let's do... I don't know why I was thinking that dark would look good here. How about some copper? And in fact, we'll go all the way to the top. Put a last piece of copper up there. and then just head down there, because the girders do something really interesting and that makes things a lot easier when you're building. And you've noticed that I just placed a whole bunch down very quickly. And then when it was full, it started coming out the side. We can get rid of that. And now we should have a singular girder all the way up. Then we'll replace some of these with the copper blocks because I like it. And I won't see that hole through the center. Not a big fan of that. Now let's super glue everything. The only thing stopping those from working are the fact that they're not glued together, so we'll work on that soon. Yes, I think any of the strangeness is going to be towards the back. For instance, any item delivery or whatnot. So we'll need a bunch of barrels, we'll need a bunch of item interfaces. And honestly, looking at it, we may need to straight out just switch out of the ones of symmetry and do each of these one by one. But I'm also so lazy. This one has a harvester on the front, barrel, interface. So that's what we're going to need a whole lot more of. 22 ought to be enough. 22 wasn't enough. There we are. Now let's see if we can get all of this to work together. Yep. It looks like it's happening except for that one. Right, so it can run all of those pretty easily, which is wonderful. Right, so it's been a little while since I did a verbal recap. So what we did was we connected a center line all the way through this tower, and we attached all of our basic blocks to it. Our interface, our barrel, our harvester, and just the ability to turn, have light. We also have some water encased in leaves in here. Now, connecting these interfaces, we have a tower of 7 interfaces with andesite funnels that are pointing down, all down towards this, sorry for that clicking, down towards this chute, which is going into a singular barrel, which will upgrade as needed. We're going to plant some inferium seeds in this one. I could also use some more andesite or such. We'll need stone and nether quartz essences to make that happen. We can always use more slime seeds, but I don't know if we need them that much. We've only got 2 of the nether quartz seeds, so we'll plant those. Ooh, we've got some iron seeds. I think I might leave it alone. But I do need stone seeds. So how do I get those? I'm going to need to make the infusion altars if I want to grab those. We're going to grab some nether quartz, some slime, some glowstone, some of the basic stuff that we do not want to have to be grabbing all the time, but we aren't going to need a staggering amount of. So we're going to also do these creeper seeds. So first the nether quartz, because I have a feeling I'm going to want to use that quartz for a lot of different things. Next up are the slime seeds and the creeper seeds. There we are. Now we're going to see if our delivery mechanism works by bone mealing some stuff. Bone meal doesn't work on inferium. Do I have to plant these on inferium? Probably. Well, let's change what farmland we're putting everything on and see if that helps. We got a bunch of Imperium farmland and we're changing this up. Right, secondary chance, 10%. I don't know what that means, but we're going to see if we've gathered anything so far. Nope. But this looks like it's going to grow relatively soon. Well, this is interesting. I could instantly grow a crop or a sapling. I'd have to use a diamond. We're just going to see if that pulls out. And it did. And look, we have our slime essence and our glowstone essence as well. And our creeper essence. There we are. So, this delivery system will work. And that tower is not done, but the basics of it are. I'm going to have to repeat that process with these other 2 towers. I think I'm going to make one of them fully inferium, so that we just get a bunch of essences in one place, and maybe I can craft them up at the end. using the pedestals and altar. We need stone, red wool, and gold. So we're going to head out and see where we want to put this kind of very runic thing. Maybe up behind the house. So we'll clear an area up here, starting with the trees and clearing out some land back here. Let's put our altar down, and you can see that it will give us a hologram of where the pedestals need to go, which is very useful. So let's get out our pedestals and start laying those down. One, boop, right there. Another one here, 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 and here. Whoop, also here. And it feels like we're missing, yes, we're missing one. That grass, you should always clear up all your grass when you're making that sort of thing. So onto the seed base. We need a prosperity seed base, which is made with prosperity shards and a wheat seed. We're going to make a few of those. And in order to get the stone essence, of course we need the stone seeds, so you lay it out as the base shows you. Kind of. I mean, you can actually lay it out any which way you like. So, stone, inferium. And let's grab our inferium and lay out our stone. I like putting them in the order that it shows, but you really don't have to. You could put 4 stone and then 4 inferium if you want. Boop, 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 and boop. Now, in order to activate this, we'll need a redstone signal, so we'll put a button down. And then we'll grab our seed base and press that button, and you'll see this very satisfying animation while it makes up our stone seeds. There we go. Stone seeds! Yay! So, we'll get started on our towers and our garage, and talk while we are moving through those montages. Enjoy. Now, I love working in Yurnshire, and I am excited to see how it goes when we are coming to its completion. I think with this library and with becoming king, we will decide to move along, and I might make a larger town somewhere else. But I am so excited to see what the villagers do with their newfound space. Outside of me working on everything around them and changing their jobs and changing how they work exactly. I am excited to see what they make of themselves outside of what I'm doing around them. So, with that, I do want to make our first little train as a little bit of practice. Honestly, we're going to need to make something that I can show you how it works. And I'm very, very excited about that. I cannot wait to get into trains and delivery systems and all sorts of expansion. As of right now, we are going for simplicity. We have stone being produced, or at least cobblestone that I can make into stone. We have an iron farm that's effectively half automated. It makes stone and gravel, and will be moving the gravel to its washing station. So we've got an iron producer. We've also got villagers that we can trade with. We've got beautiful things here. But I can't wait to get more industrialized. I can't wait to get a lot more in the thickness of create, instead of using something pretty automated like mystical agriculture to make our resources. I still want to use create. So get excited, because in our next city, it's going to be... Woo! That was a lot... Oh, there's a block up there still. I'll have to remove that. But that was a lot of work. And now we're going to get started on trains. I'll complete the back of these, by the way. Still have this tower. I will get rid of it. But in the middle of other episodes, I will complete the back. We will show off... you know, how it works, what it looks like. Look at these flower boxes, by the way. Aren't they gorgeous? I love them. And they're all the way up the towers. Everything seems pretty intense, and I love it. It's going to draw the eye to this side of town, and I cannot wait. Those, of course, are going to get a little bit more altered. I'm going to make them a little bit more grand to kind of stand up against the others. And we'll come back to that. For now, trains. I am so excited. So let's get started on that. Let's talk about it. We need a few different things. We're going to need some train tracks. We're going to need some train casing. We're going to need a train schedule and a train station. So, in order to make the first thing that we're going to need, which is the train casing and the train schedule by extent, we're going to need something called sturdy sheets. In order to make that, sturdy sheets and brass casing, but in order to make the sturdy sheets, we're going to need to spout lava onto some powdered obsidian. That does mean that we finally need to get into crushing wheels. So I may have a crushing wheel set up here in town, and we will crush some obsidian to get this powdered obsidian. It might also give us back our regular obsidian. We can just keep funneling that through until we powder all of it, or a good amount of it at least. So the crushing wheels are hefty. They're going to have a high stress impact. So they're pretty simple. They can grind items up very efficiently, and you can take gravel into sand with crushing wheels, which also is extremely useful. It will process up ores more efficiently as well. You'll get crushed ores, and that will kind of double your ore output if you're wanting to. We are not going to make this large of a setup. We're just going to start with regular, simple, easy, as we've done with the rest of the town. So, crushing wheels. Where would I want to put crushing wheels? I kind of want to put them over here, right here, because this is a large blank space in our wall. So, we'll make up some crushing wheels. In order to make crushing wheels, we're going to need quite a bit of mechanical crafter setup. So, let's get that started real quick. Right, so I think I'm going to put like 5 big water wheels back here. We're going to start off with a small water wheel because it will accelerate how fast these large ones go. And there we are. We have a bunch of water wheels behind our large, huge amount of random space underneath the house and behind our job centers. And we're going to get these mechanical crafters moving. And now, the mechanical crafters are something to explain a little bit. You see these little belts that run side to side? You can see that 2 are kind of matchy-matchy. You can use the wrench to change where these belts lead. One thing we need to make sure of is that they lead out. And now it's going to try to assemble this piece. Please work and don't embarrass me immediately off. That would be great. Don't be weird about things. And there they are. It did not work on it. Oh, there they go. They went on the depot. Now, crushing wheels are a little interesting because you do have to make them rotate the opposite way. So what I've found that's easiest is by having one gearbox, a shaft, and then another gearbox. And now these should be rotating inwards towards each other. Perfect. They are. Now, as you can see, I'm being crushed and I cannot get out. And we will make sure to fence that off. Alright, we can make a little shelf or a table or something like that. But for now, let's grab some obsidian. And it's going to drop that in that, and you can see the particles working and hear the crushing. It will take 16 at a time. These all move 16. The chutes do, the crushing wheels, and such. And there we are. Here's some of our powdered obsidian, and we did get regular obsidian back. So we're going to toss that regular obsidian right back through. Reblock in this wall. Use some casing. Block this off. And they should not be able to access this piece. Wonderful. So, in order to make our sturdy sheets, remember that we need to take in our powdered obsidian. Now, we're going to use this. We're going to grab some lava, and we're going to make as much sturdy casing. I have it to where it's pulling out of this drain into this spout from the bottom. And there we go, we've got some of those pieces. We're going to do as many as we can. Right, so now we process all of these sheets. Right, so now we can just toss these onto this press, and it will hit them twice. And we will get our sturdy sheets. There we are, sturdy sheets, wonderful. Perfect, now, the next things we need are train stations and tracks. So, what do we need for the train station? We need train casing and compasses. That's perfectly fine. Train casing is very simple to make. You use a sturdy sheet on some brass casing. And now we just take these sturdy sheets and change them to train casings. We made it to the logistical age. Woo! Train track. It's going to be a little different. Now you can make train track with any type of wood, but we'll need to deploy iron nuggets or zinc nuggets onto a slab and then smash that. And now we'll bop them together. And you can make all sorts of gauges with these, but we're going to go with the traditional one. You can make a narrow gauge, you can make a wide gauge for large trains. Now, the train track, I kind of want to show you in a little wider of a space, so we're going to move over near our... Over here's fine, actually. I want to show you something. So, if you place a train track, it looks like that. And if you want to move your train any which way, the turn is too sharp if we don't have enough, you can select the track and place as many as you have. You can make curves, you can make all sorts of things, and we are going to be using that to make a train that goes through here and all the way through this little area here, back here, and joins up with this portion back here so that I can feed the gravel directly where it needs to go. Now, as you can see, you can place these kind of halfway in a place. That's all right. We're going to connect out to over here. The turn will be too sharp unless we move along. Now, one thing I did want to show you, you can use a hotkey to maximize this turn. So that's what we're going to do. So now we've got to drill out the side of a mountain. Let's make ourselves a little train drill and get it in here. To do that, I'm going to show you how to make things in a little bit more large of a space again. And we're just going to give ourselves quite a bit of space here. We're going to need some more train casing. And let's grab our train stations. The way we want this to work is, well, the way it's going to work is, you see that arrow? That will direct where your train is going, so we can have it go either which way. We're going to put one kind of right here in the middle and then place the train station nearby. Track station is idle. We can use this interface to create a new train. No bogies. Use train casing on highlighted tracks to create bogies. You remove the bogies by breaking the block on top. You can build carriages attached to 1 or 2 bogies each. There we are. Now I can click it again to cycle the type. There we go. So we can have that sort of one or that sort of one. We're going to go with this one because that looks like a tiny little pickup sort of ideal. But first, before we do the pickup, we're going to do a set of drills. So you can see that there's glue on that. You are going to have to, of course, glue a contraption together. But for now, we're just going to put drills on this thing and a few different other pieces that you're going to need. For instance, I believe you'll need some train controls. Yes, we'll need a precision mechanism. I don't know if we have one. Now we got 2 sets of train controls. And we're going to place one on there. There we are. And we're going to super glue all of this together. And now to activate this train, we go back to our train station and say assemble train. It is an unnamed train, and that's fine. Now, let's see if we can move it. Yep. Did you hear that? Amazing. And when they reach the end of their tracks, it will let you know. Now I can use space bar to approach the track station. and stop controlling that train. You'll have to click on the contraption controls. And now we will run through this area and we'll drill through. This is like a minecart contraption, except we can drive it. And there we are. We drilled out a little bit of space back there. We'll keep the seat and the train controls where they are, but we're going to add another set of train controls so that this train can go backwards. For now, we've got that basic setup. What we need is an interface and a barrel that will attach and start sending in pieces from our gravel. We're going to assemble the train again. We taking everything? Yes. This time we're taking everything. I may also put that interface right below the barrel, and then we'll work to make it look like a truck. So I had to assemble it outside. Now, it's kind of a snub-nosed beast. I love it. I am so excited about it. It may not fully fit, or it might barely fit, and I am okay with that. So, let's super glue this together. Now we matched up all of this. I will anchor that and make it look nicer in just a bit. On this one, we're going to point this train track back towards the other way because we want it to just reverse and head right on back. Let's go grab an animal. I'll show you something cool. Now that we have this one on a lead, all we have to do is click this seat and it will put them in it. Train schedule. What we can do is add traveling to stations. We can update a schedule title. You can do all sorts of things. But we are going to have it travel to a station, and we're going to have it travel to gravel drop-off first. You can also put conditions on when they leave, which is exactly what we're going to do. Either wait 5 seconds, or we're going to introduce an alternate condition. We're going to say, item cargo condition, less than 0 items. And then we're going to have it travel to a station. We're going to have it travel to the garage. And either he's going to wait until this is empty, or he's going to wait 5 seconds. And now it's filling up on items here. Well, between 4 train stations and a lot of fiddling, we did finally get our train to work. Look, it's reversing right now. Oh my goodness. Well, unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. We got a truck. We have several beautiful towers behind us. We have some wonderful new things in town. It has been a delight. Thank you for joining me today. And remember, if you like what you're hearing, please like and subscribe.